I represent the financial services part of them. My association with Benchmark has been from 2008. I'm a Master Black Belt from Benchmark Six Sigma. My association with Katrisia started when I was recertified for Black Belt, and then I took in for the MBB course. I'm not going to touch much upon the projects, success stories, etc., because each one of your own success. But since I understand most of you are new Black Belts, just wanted to caution you, you're getting into a zone of very high discipline and lot of rigorous analysis and time, and a lot of efforts is required to really get into the root cause. I'll be touching on 4 points. Few challenges what we have faced and how we have mitigated. And while there are a lot of times, I don't know how it's structured in your company, Black Belts get involved in the review of the projects. Some key elements what you need to look at while you review the projects, key traps, what are really essential to make the project successful. And especially the one stage which is taken very lightly in the whole DMIC in our experience has been the define stage. And I will be primarily touching upon if you miss some stages in define, like SIPOC. Okay, SIPOC looks like really a scoping tool, but if you miss it, what type of implication it will have on you? These are the few things I will be touching up. The best way what we have found out is when you have the annual quality plan, and better to introduce there itself and appropriately cost and budget it and take a sign off upfront. That is the most very appropriate way of doing. Certain important things you have to align the business leader. That's very crucial. We need to be sensitive about this. When we have regular updates, for example, you may be having a monthly communication on the business progress or a quarterly newsletter coming out of it. It is very essential, at least when Six Sigma is introduced, the first topic discussed in those letters and those forums is Six Sigma. Then you're sending a message direct to the organization that now my priority is Six Sigma and this project, so this is going to yield me money. And this is ultimately it's the financial impact and the financial results what people are looking at. This is the second step, and very crucial for its success is other thing is never introduce projects without passing the first stage. Like typically when company starts or any company which has already started, there is appropriate process definitions, metrics are in place, and process is reasonably matured, and that is the time, it's the right time to inject. Okay, then onwards, if your example giving is you are having a new branch office, it can be from a day one affair. But a running organization, if you are trying to inject Six Sigma, it is not advisable without having the process definition in place and the metrics in place and proper ownership. The reason is, even if you define a project, at the measure stage you will be caught, because what is the metrics and what is the process definition you have to map yourself. Okay, so better to abandon those projects, finish off process definition, apply metrics, reasonable ownership is there, and it has matured over time, then getting into the project is a lot better. See, this whole initiative of Six Sigma itself has to be drafted as a process, and it should be a well-oiled machinery. Like where will my project basket will come has to be clear-cutly documented. Okay, we have found one interesting methodology. We have a weekly corrective action process. Now there, the sporadic issues are of course addressed. There are some chronic issues which keeps coming and we are not able to make much progress. That gets addressed as a Six Sigma project. It gets identified. Then, the moment you identify green belt, and these are the members, the project specific training is very, very essential. That's a clear cut. So those things has to be documented and clearly followed. You may have a project which is having a TAT. You can give a rough cut estimate how this is going to flow. There may be a cycle time analysis, there can be a same way typically with the quality. So that those clarity should be brought out upfront in this document. And the results of it, how many projects closure is not important. Is the financial impact. How much is the financial impact? You don't have to fit all projects in DMIC, clear cut bifurcate. If you cannot fit in and if there is a faster way of closure, clear cut, you know what needs to be done. Don't even identify into a DMAC project. If you know what you need to implement, we don't have to fit in. Close it faster, keep it away, it helps the organization. And in some very small projects, DMAC vigor may not be required. If you take Minitab, there are some 140 different options of tools, out of which maybe 50, 60 may be really applied in the DMAC. There is no hard and fast rule, like each and every tool has to be applied. Many of the correlations, by looking at the data, you can make it out. You don't have to go into the core. If you find a correlation, then many of the times you don't have to run all the tools. But keep it simple. And this is the other options what I've seen, especially with the green belts, and once they turn into black belt, they get into the back end calculation a lot. How do I get Z value? How do I get T statistics? I think that is required maybe at the higher level. I leave it to the individuals, but we should spend a lot of time on interpretation of the output rather than working at the back end. How do I interpret this data based on the analysis? That value at a time is much important than understanding the calculation. Toll gate review on each of the stages. You cannot move from define to measure without completing certain stages. Have that upfront, and without completing those, do not encourage people going to the next step, because it will have its own implication on the projects. This is the most critical point. Time on Minitab is spent more than data collection time, because I think it should be the other way around. And very crucial is the data collected at source. Typical is we have 2-3 lines of where people do this data processing. From the source, it goes to the respective head's clerk. From the clerk, it comes to the centrally to somebody, and all these are summarized. So what is happening? There are 2-3 opportunities of errors when they are transferring it. So when you, for your project, it's better whatever project you are doing, it's always recommended to collect the data from the source. And people generally take systemic data, means it will be pretty accurate. Never guess it. There are issues like in our case where we took a systemic data, we had slippages. We had 15 to 20 data missing, though it was systemic. So systemic data, never consider they are accurate. They can also go wrong. While we come to improve stage, very crucial is your counter action should be the reverse of root cause. If I say the root cause was default radio button, your counter action should be I have removed the radio button, default button. It should not be something else. That we should be watchful. Supposingly you take a shortcut of not doing a SIPOC, then you have a probability of selecting a project of very high scope. And after failure, people will blame Six Sigma did not work. But actually the problem lies with us because we skipped SIPOC. Okay, that's what the probability. Next is business case and project charter is not made. 99% of the project, in our case, what has succeeded is which had good financial results. When you don't do business case and project charter, it will not, see, only what has financial results will attract companies' interest. So if you have any slippages, if you cannot quantify financially, that project has a very likelihood of not succeeding.